howling for you.
And thank you once again for joining us on WolfcastTV. I'm one of your hosts, Dario, and this is...
What?
Chris?
Yes?
Really? Nice ears, though.
Welcome, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. On this edition here, what we're going to do is just a little throwback to 2017 and Wolfpack's first season. We're just going to talk about some of our favorite highlights from that entire year. Obviously, you can't touch on a lot of them, just a couple of them.
There were so many.
There was quite a number. And what I'd like to do in a future episode is reaching out to a few of our fans out there who've also going to have contributed to some of their highlights. So we'll have that in a future episode. But for ourselves, I think, Chris, we both discussed it, the trip.
Yes.
We had the opportunity to go to the UK for, I think it was like a 10-day trip, and see the Wolfpack twice, plus a ton of rugby there. And we had quite an adventure.
It was very, very busy. We got to go, like you said, to, Keighley was one, and the other we saw Wolfpack against... Workington Town.
Yeah.
Aside from the games, which I think we'll touch on in a little bit, there was a lot of some interesting experiences. I think for me, because I'm more... I like to drive, let's say. I used to race motorcycles, and I love Formula 1. And driving through some of these, I guess for lack of a better term, I consider them death trap roads.
Yeah, you used the term roads. I wouldn't have gone that far.
In the middle of the night, driving back from 3-hour, 4-hour journeys away, just little 2-lane country roads that if you kind of veer off a little bit, that's the last time you'll ever veer off.
This here is supposed to be a 2-lane road.
And I was the one driving.
Yes.
For most part of it, scaring myself to death, and probably you as well.
But seriously, I mean, only one car barely fit on that road, and I remember those. I was scared to death. But apparently I'm scared enough to take this video.
On the wrong side.
Yes.
Or the opposite side, let's say that.
Which was a challenge in itself. For myself, one of the biggest highlights I had was, again, both of those games there, but it was such a contrast. The weather, the atmosphere. We started off the first game in Workington Town, and it was cold. It was rainy, and it just seemed glum. I know it was a big score that the Wolfpack won by, and some of the fans there were a little not too happy at us cheering for the Wolfpack. And then you converse that with the game against Keighley, where
sunshine.
Everybody's happy. It was a really close game. Turned out to be a draw. It was just like such a wonderful contrast. But again, going back to the Workington, we got to experience a rugby league game in the mud, which was, what? Thank you, Workington Town. Thank you. It was awesome.
Are we going to touch on our experience of getting to the game, to the stadium? Which, for the record, where we were staying was a technically 5-minute walk to get to.
Technically,
if you know what you're doing.
If you wanted to go the boring way.
If you wanted to go directly from point A to point B in the rain, in the cold.
Right.
Or you could do what we did and take half an hour.
Hey, it was like 20 minutes, okay? It was a 20-minute walk. You were already
I'm
wet.
rounding to the nearest half hour.
Just because I went back and forth, it was the map. It was the map wrong. Not the map reader. It was the map that was wrong.
Yeah, but turn your phone upside down.
5-minute walk turned out to be a 20-minute walk.
Still worth it to enjoy the game, though.
We were soaking wet. My fault. My bad. I get that. But apart from our trip, which was, again, we had so many experiences. We met so many great people. Too many shout out, but Rob and Kaz, obviously, they're stars in their own right. Again, on TV all the time, waving our Canadian flag. So thank you very much for that. But so many people we met there in each of the towns there. Thank you to everybody.
Yes, and especially thank you to I think it was Martin Vickers, the Wolfpack coordinator on that side of the pond.
Correct.
Really helped us out with where the games were, and that was just us not following directions, but setting things up for us, organizing what they needed. Yeah. Exactly. So thank you to you.
And so for the rest of the year, for the time here in Toronto, what was another highlight for you?
I don't want to get onto any specific highlights just yet, but for me, I really enjoyed, and I was frankly surprised, being completely new to the rugby world at that point, at that level. I think it was for me Ryan Brierly and his the big experience he brought to the game and to the fans with the whole story with Violet Grace. And it caught on like wildfire. There was a little girl that was killed in a car accident, I believe, and he brought it. He raised money for it, and that shows the character of the kind of people that are playing on the team. And he brought in the fans. It essentially made it a larger rugby family, which we've touched on many times before.
I have to agree with you there. That was a phenomenal moment, and like you said, it drew us in more than just the game itself, which the game was phenomenal.
The game's a lot broader than just the game.
Right, and for me, it's the same thing in terms of the highlight. But it was that first time, not knowing what to expect, going out. It wasn't the game. It was actually they held an open practice for media that first day there, which they wanted to do at Lamport Stadium. Things got messed around. Had to do it at a high school.
High school, yeah.
But we got over there, and then all of a sudden had a chance to interview, Coach
Craig Hall. I think you got to
Coach Paul Rowley first, though,
yeah.
And hearing his wonderful little quotes there, like mini car crashes, and then getting to interview, like I said, Captain Craig Hall, and just the nicest of people. Oh yeah, you want to interview? Yeah, sure. Just let me know where. Like it was just very easy, and they started going, wow, these are not like
they're
the prima donna athletes that we
I'm sorry. Talk to my PR department. I can't. You'll have to talk to my assistant. No, come on. I'm going to have a drink. Sit down with me, and we'll chat. And you forget it's not an interview.
No, it really wasn't, and it became, like you said, like just talking to a friend. So that's the one thing that the highlight, the very first highlight that stuck out for me. And I think if we're gonna end this off on one particular highlight, we'd have to go from the beginning. We go to the end.
Okay. And at the end, or 2 games before the end of the season, was it?
In either case, the promotion.
The promotion.
Like, both parties. Against Barrow and then the following week as well. Just the atmosphere. Again, spectacular play by the Wolfpack throughout the entire season. But just that on-field presence after the game where everybody was congratulating one another. Not just the players, but...
And the players were congratulating the fans as well. I mean, you saw a number of players give away their medals. You saw Fui sitting down with a number of fans
Kendra.
holding the cup. With Kendra, thank you. And just enjoying the whole experience.
Paul Rowley or players beating the drum from the supporters group. And again, it was just like having the Wolfpack pack on the field as well, the cheerleaders on the field, the small cheerleaders, the she-wolves on the
and the fact that the fans are on the field.
Yes. We're celebrating together. It really made...
Where do you I'm sorry, you have to stay 30 feet behind this barricade? What barricade? You're walking on the field, I'm like, okay, I'm, photographer taking pictures of the team, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get around. I'm like, I'm walking through fans, not just players. And no one cares.
No.
In a good way.
Exactly. Yeah. It was very special. So it was a phenomenal 2017 season.
First season, promoted.
Can't get any better than that, right? I mean, that's what you want to go to. So good luck for them the rest of the season this year. And I'm sure we're going to be...
Promoted?
Well, hopefully. I was about to say, I'm sure there's going to be plenty more highlights this year that we're going to be talking about in future episodes as well.
Sounds good.
Take care, everybody.